Welcome everyone. On the behalf of FrontierView, thank you so much for joining us for our webinar series. On today's webcast, we will be diving into China's economic outlook, as well as how its 14th five-year plan will affect business landscape and multinationals. So over the course of the next 16 minutes, we will be taking a deep dive into the factors driving China's economic trajectory in 2021. We will highlight some risks for companies to watch out for, as well as areas of business opportunities. So for a very quick introduction of myself, my name is Yuchen Han, and I'm a Senior Client Sales Associate at FrontierView. So I'm really excited to be moderating this very timely discussion today. Now, I'm very delighted to be joined by Boyang Xue. He is FrontierView's analyst for Northeast Asia markets, who is our expert in markets like China, Japan, and South Korea. Boyang and I would like to take this as a very interactive discussion, so please be sure to click on the Q&A box on the right-hand side of your screen and send your question to FrontierView webinars, and we will try to work through as many questions included in the discussion as possible. Also, as a reminder, if you are a client, you can access all of our Asia-Pacific market intelligence research and data on your FrontierView desktop and mobile applications simply by logging on. If you are not a client, for registered attendees of this webinar, we are offering complimentary trial access to FrontierView. To take advantage of this offer, please request for a trial in the comment box or visit our website at www.frontierview.com and click on the request for trial button. Now, before we actually get started, we realize that some of you may be new to FrontierView, so I would like to take a moment to provide you with a very quick overview of our firm and how we support multinational executives. FrontierView is a premium global market intelligence and advisory firm. Our primary focus is on serving market intelligence needs of global business professionals at multinational corporations by informing, empowering their market monitoring, strategic planning, and international growth priorities. Now, from the very beginning, we built FrontierView to be different in three primary ways. The first, our product and service model has been purpose-built to serve a global business audience. In every aspect of our work, we strive to separate the signal from the noise and answer the so what, now what question that are unique to international business professionals. The second differentiator is our model, which we call a strategic intelligence as a service. FrontierView is the only market intelligence solution that bundles together information resources, analyst advisory access, and a senior executive network into one affordable subscription. And finally, we are especially proud of our world-class technology, which powers the FrontierView desktop and mobile application, which has been built with the sole purpose of informing our clients' workflow and decision processes. Now, we are incredibly proud of our client base, which today includes a community of over 4,000 across 240 companies, and that is still growing. So you can see some of them over here. Again, if you're not a client and you are interested in receiving a trial access to our FrontierView program, please visit our website and click the request for trial button. Now, having very briefly introduced about our company, I would like to take a moment to introduce our presenter for today. So on the line for today's webcast, we have our analyst for Northeast Asia, Boyang Xue. Boyang supports senior executives on key initiatives, including strategic planning, resource allocation, and risk management for their Northeast Asia portfolio. So now over to you, Boyang.
Thank you, Yuchen, for that kind introduction. So I'll just quickly go through our agenda today. We'll be talking about a number of things. First, we'll begin by a discussion on how China is doing in terms of COVID-19 containment, as well as domestic vaccine rollout. And we'll continue the conversation by talking about a 10,000 feet view of China's economy at the moment and what policies and policy priorities are the government looking at going ahead. And we'll also end the discussion by looking at some of the high frequency data we have for China's industrial landscape, as well as China's consumption landscape. Finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. So if you have any questions about China's economy during the session, feel free to reach out and submit any questions you may have. So without further ado, let's dive in and talk about China's COVID-19 situation and its vaccination update. So in general, we think that countries in APAC are not as in much of a hurry compared to peers in Europe and the United States in terms of rolling out its vaccines. This is mainly because many markets in the region continue to experience a relatively stable COVID-19 situation, particularly Australia, China, Vietnam. However, given that there is urgency for countries to open their borders, particularly when Europe and North America begin to open their borders later this year, there's increasingly urgency for the Chinese government to ramp up its domestic vaccine rollout. So we think right now China still leads countries in APAC in terms of its vaccination. So as of now, China has vaccinated about 20 to 25% of the population. You can see beginning from April, China significantly ramped up its speed of domestic vaccine rollout due to the concerns that China does not want to lag behind many other countries in terms of border opening. However, despite the Chinese government's efforts, we think that low efficacy rates of Chinese vaccines could potentially delay China's border opening, even if the government manages to vaccinate about 80% of the population by the second quarter of next year, according to our estimate. This is mainly because, according to many different sources, it seems that Chinese vaccines are not as effective Western vaccines against certain variants. And this type of concerns will likely, let's say, delay China's border opening. Unfortunately, the Chinese government recently has decided to move toward approving one of the Western vaccines, which is the BioNTech vaccine, and it's expected to partner up with the local pharmaceutical company to produce about 1 billion vaccines per year, according to its production capacity. And that will likely help China to reach so-called herd immunity earlier. Nevertheless, we think China's border is likely to remain closed at least until the end of this year, if not the throughout the first half of next year.